What to do, everybody? Just checking in to say hello. Don't look any further. Witchdoctor Alex started a live video. That's what it says. It's been a minute since I checked in. Now I'm back with the jump off. Hope you all are well. Full swing. Eclipse season. My Life show. Hey, nice seeing you on here. My Life, my show. Surprised to see you on here. Hey, SL Sims. Cataract Mama, hello. I do vibes only. How's everybody doing? Checking in. Eclipse season, thank you so much. Cataract Mama. Let's see. We have lunar eclipse on, I think, Saturday. We have still in Mercury retrograde season. I'm always unorganized. I should have got my stuff I wanted to talk about first before I got on here. But anyway, I hope you're doing well and staying safe. Likewise. 7 Uara, hello. My birthday's on the 5th. Glad to see you. Glad to see you as well. Happy birthday. What are we talking about today, Mr. Alex? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, GSO lunar eclipse on I don't even know. But today's the 1st. So what's today? Wednesday, 2nd, Thursday, Friday, 3rd. Yeah, so Sunday. Lunar eclipse on Sunday in Capricorn. The final one for 18 years. 18 years from now, we're going to be in 2038. And we will have 7 eclipses. Yeah, 7 eclipses in 2038. And the last time we had 7 eclipses was 1982. We were talking about it on Twitter like a month ago. And 1982, Thriller came out. There's a bunch of weird battles, like maritime battles in Argentina, and some other stuff happened, but it was quite a year. Yeah, 2038, we're going to be having 7 eclipses. Mostly, typically, it's only between 4 and 6 eclipses a year. Hello, your tarot godmother, how are you? I was born in 1982. Yeah, so we had 7 eclipses that year. And I think, when they talk about 1982, they talk about 1982 being the year that shaped the 80s. I kind of agree. I wouldn't doubt it. There was a lot of watershed moments that happened in 1982. But we were talking about it on Twitter, but I don't remember. But anyway, so yeah, lunar eclipse on Sunday. I have a cavity? No. On Sunday. I'm getting my teeth fixed soon. I'm getting veneers. So you guys are going to see me with veneers on here soon. A full mouth of brand new white teeth with no gingivitis or whatever that is. But anyway, so yeah, Mercury retrograde in full swing. We have Mars and Aries going on right now. So for all us Saggitarius risings, it's opposite our 11th house. So we're definitely fighting back and forth with, the collective, or, there's just a bit of opposition with the collective right now, but it's nothing to be too worried about. Yeah, I need some new teeth. Living my best life, absolutely. Got to live our best life. Oh yeah, and I wanted to talk about that melanated empath book. I'll do that another night. Some new teeth, yeah. Yeah, everything. Hey, Brianna, the Moon Goddess. Yeah, everything I'm doing down here in Louisiana. There's so many things that keep on happening that keep me from making my big move to Texas. I was supposed to drive down to Texas today. My arm hurts. Drive down to Texas today, and I ended up not doing it because I'm hearing about how everything is closing down. I mean, I knew another wave was coming of this COVID situation. Purchased that book. I'm actually starting it today. Yeah, I've been meaning to start it. I keep looking at it every time I walk out of the bedroom, and meaning to start it, but I haven't started it yet because I've like 5 books I've been trying to complete, and then I end up getting that one, and then now I'm at 5 books to complete and 6. I mean, the 6th one to get started on. So. Coming after September. So it's interesting because in September, We have the Mars retrograde happening between September and November. So, I mean, whatever is happening, I'd say in mid-July, late July will definitely be up for review. During the September through November months. Hope the second wave is coming after some. Yes, COVID has flared back up. My Sag Moon is currently reading 6 books, but I'm reading them though. Yeah, I need to be more on top of things. Ouch. This motherfucker, yes I am, Lex Jetson. 6 books, but I'm reading them though. Yeah, what 6 books are you reading? I'm trying to finish The Folk Beliefs of the Southern Negro, The Cult Life of Jesus of Nazareth, and what's these other books I'm reading? Oh, the one about Mama Ru, not Mama Ru, the lady that just died, the Santera lady. It's up here. Hold on one second. Don't look any further. So hold on. So you have Melon Empath. Oh yeah, here it is. Mama Lola, that's the name of it. Mama Lola. Reading this book. I've been starting on this one. She just passed away like last month. And then I'm reading this one. Folk Beliefs of the Southern Negro. It's a big book. Like, this reminds me of, like, I had this teacher in 6th grade. Her name was Miss Lincoln, and she used to kind of dress like a pilgrim, but, like, she used to give, like, all the boys, like, which is in hindsight, it's really good that she did this, but, like, all the boys in the class, and it was all black school, but, like, at least in middle school, Laces, shout out to Laces if anyone of you went to Laces down in Los Angeles, West LA. But anyway, Miss Lincoln, she would give all the boys like books this thick. We were like in 6th grade, and like at the time we hated her, but looking back, like it was a really good thing that she did. Like the I Ching, Think and Grow Rich, the Tarot, Nina Simone. Oh yeah, that looks good. Gotta get those books. Yeah, I have all of the books that you see are in the Amazon shop, so be sure to check that out. And oh yeah, again, thank you guys. April was my best sales month. You know, I really like, even though it's unfortunate that everyone is at home, like the fact that like, you know, I had such great sales in April is my best sales month, and I really I wish I could personally thank all of you who shop and who purchase, because you have so many choices to choose from. Amazon doesn't have the best reputation right now, and you know, and I'm really fortunate that you guys still choose to purchase from the Amazon store in spite of, you know, Jeffrey and his, you know, becoming a trillionaire business and the unfair treatment of the employees at the Amazon spots and whatnot. And yeah, so I'm really appreciative that you all still do that. I wash the hydron in my laundry. It's all good. Yeah, just, you know, feed it with your rum and your tobacco. Thank you so much, Lexstruction. Magic Coochie, hello. Eclipsing. It's a COVID situation, and was, you know, because I'm out here in the middle of the woods. But like the closest towns are like Shreveport and Natchitoches, where I stay. And like, I mean, people are participating with the whole wearing masks things, but like when I am in, I wouldn't call it the city because it's still country as hell, but when I'm amongst the people, you know, it's still a lot of people out. Still a lot of people going to restaurants, not as much as you think or as before, obviously, but it's still a lot of people going to restaurants and definitely shopping. Honestly, there's nothing to do here in the middle of the country in Louisiana but buy groceries and go to restaurants. And like, you know, there's literally nothing to do and go fishing and stuff because I'm literally out here in the country, arguing on Twitter, as I always do. We're going to use that good store of knowledge, dismantle the team, then yeah, we have to. Saw the video of the guy ditching his Amazon van while on the clock. Happened here in Detroit. No, I didn't see that, but I read about it on Twitter a lot. I hear about how, and that's why I feel so bad, but I'm so fortunate that you guys still choose to shop from that Amazon store, but I have so much guilt around it. And that's just like such a common theme in my life. Anytime I have something really amazing, there's always something that comes along that is like tries to just rip the happiness from, not necessarily always rips the happiness from it, and not necessarily always, but there's always that two-headed sword situation. But yeah, because I feel so bad about those employees that work there. Saturn is back in Capricorn. I can feel the power struggle. Yeah, so those of you that have Saturn in Capricorn that are dealing with your Saturn return, this is your last hurrah for the next 29 years. 2020, energetically, you can turn on the news and see how much of a crazy year it is, but energetically, astrologically, there's so many things. Oh no, I don't want to set up an independent store because I don't want to inventory nothing. It's a sweet deal. I don't make like billions of dollars, obviously, from the Amazon situation, but considering that all I have to do is put a list together and, I could just, make money. I don't have the inventory. I don't have to ship. I don't have to be responsible for any of that. And my name is never in any nonsense about, Witchdoctor is a scammer. He didn't send me this. He takes forever to do that. Like, you never hear my name in none of that. And I always told myself, if I was ever going to be selling anything, it needs to be like that shipping situation. Because I hear so many horror stories about people. And I'll never want my name in none of that. But anyway, capitalism is a monster. There's no way you cannot feel guilty about it. But that's the nature of what we go through here in this realm, here in America. But yeah, so those of you that have Saturn returning in Capricorn, this is your last hurrah for the next 29 years. This is a review between now and December 17th, 2020. This is more of a review to kind of really go back, double check all the lessons that you've learned, the discipline that you've implemented and practice, especially with Pluto and Jupiter in the mix. Jupiter, our belief systems, our expansion, the more mature sides of what we've learned, our education. Pluto, transformation, our power. More so kind of the stamina that we have and the extremes that we've gone to in regards to, our structure of Capricorn energy, and more so because it's so funny that the astrological signs are so, what's the word I'm looking for, just very much connected to the animals, so to speak, because you have the goat that makes it up the mountain slowly, that very much kind of looks a lot older than it is, but when you think about it, its ruler Saturn is associated with time and more so wisdom through time, so it makes it up the mountain sideways, but it also has that tail. And they say the tail is on the Capricorn is based off of the fact that the fish and being in water, being able to swim water, it uses the Capricorn, or the goat uses its intuition to strategically make its way up the mountain, allegedly, or that's what they say, so to speak. So that's why someone told me that's why the Capricorn has the fish tail, but it's because it uses its intuition to drive it forward. Last hurrah, for 29 years. Yeah, it's so funny because these Saturn trends, I'm glad they're swinging by, but it's like you start to think about like, damn, I got another one coming up, but not for like another 24 years. So I got some time, but the last one, but and it's so funny because when I went through my Saturn return, it sucked, but allegedly, apparently, Saturn's joy, or Saturn's favorite house to be in, or I guess we'll say best functioning or best place to be is in the 12th house, and that's where I have it. Hey, Ariel, Gangsta, and Dope as Cock 3. But yeah, so I have joy of the Saturn is joy of the 12th. The joy of Saturn is in the 12th is where I have it. And that's also what Donald Trump has, and that's why, like, oftentimes, we can manage to stay out of trouble for the most part, is because that joy of the 12th house is, well, Saturn has that joy of the 12th house. So yeah. What else are we on tonight? So yeah, getting back to the question, what effects can you expect? So from the eclipse. So yeah, eclipses, especially lunar eclipses, and if you look through history, anytime there's been a lunar eclipse, it's either been like a king being killed or removed from office, or a company going down, or very much kind of like someone. I always like equate it to like the king is overthrown or the king is dethroned, to where it's like whatever is the rule of the day, or whatever is very much the golden rule of the day, it gets replaced by something else. When it's a solar eclipse, it's like these are the new rules. These are very much these are the new mindset that we're putting into place. And with lunar eclipse, because the moon is what lies beneath, so it's all about what lies beneath overthrowing or revising or coming up and, we'll say, illuminating, seeping through the surface, so to speak, the truth, and more so kind of the fact. So whatever, you have this eclipse happening, this lunar eclipse on Sunday, you will definitely be feeling the aspects in regards to what lies beneath seeping up and through the surface. Hello, Solo Dolo, how are you? Saturn's in my first house. How does that correlate with the eclipse? If you have it in Capricorn, then this lunar eclipse will definitely be, over the next year. If you have it in Capricorn, it'll be aspecting your first house. First house is all about appearance, how you see the world and how the world sees you, etc. Pretty much that. Hello, Depo Sean. Pretty much that. So, yeah, when it comes to the eclipse, it's more so kind of things about your appearance and your first impressions, and things of that nature will definitely be seeping up or rising to the surface for more of a deep level, and where there's depth. Your moon sign is in Capricorn, but where is your Saturn, since that's in your first house? Don't look any further. Oh yeah, so yeah, this is a book I've been reading. It's by a black author. This came out like, I don't remember, but this is a really old book. Like, this is an old book, and it's a reprint though. But yeah, it's very much an old book. But Newbell Niles is actually a black person, believe it or not. But they actually give you a lot of information, because they asked actual conjurers actual questions. And this is like, again, this is a book from like the early part of the 1930s or whatever, when they actually talked to these people. Folk beliefs of the Southern Negro. And then I have another good book in there that's really old, that was done by some chick, black author, who I guess she studied at UC Berkeley or something like that. Well, some California school, but she has a book out somewhere around here. Scorpio First House. What you up to, and what are your thoughts on the Book of Law by Aleister Crowley? I don't know. I've never been to Aleister Crowley personally. I feel like I should, and I feel like I should look into that, but he's never really kind of sparked my interest. And, anytime I talk about him on this account, people have a tendency to kind of, he was a misogynist or a rapist or something. It's always something. So I don't, I've kind of been turned off from even barking up that tree. Saturn and Sag. Well, yeah, so you more recently had your Saturn return a couple years ago. And it's like, it's kind of like what we're going through now. Similar, but not the same. To where it's like you, during your Saturn return, wherever it was, whatever house it was, you may have felt like you were a little bit trapped in a cage, so to speak. Because, Saturn is all about, Sagittarius is all about discovering things and being an adventurer and an explorer. And when it's Saturn, it's kind of, it's restrictive. It holds you back and very much makes you learn a lesson. Because, Sagittarius, they know a little bit about everything, but with Saturn and Sagittarius, it's more so your mission to learn a lot about the many things that you know about. It's all about wisdom that's earned as opposed to kind of off to the next. So, it's very funny that Jay-Z sings that song on to the next because it's very Sagittarian. And, it's also funny because his son's ruler, I don't know what what house his son is in, but his son's ruler is in his second house, and everyone knows him for being like this money guy. He has Jupiter in his second house, and the ruler of his son is in his second house. Everyone knows him for being about money. Libra Sun, Aquarius Moon. Definitely a brainiac. Oh, I'm gonna say a brainiac. More so, very much an intellectual. That's, like you have to have something special, something interesting to catch their eye, keep them involved and interested, but also kind of, I don't know, I have my opinions. Capricorn, Rising, Pisces, Sun, Scorpio, Moon. That's a nice mix. Water and Earth. What's on the TV? Blackish. I was just watching the news, the local news, and Blackish came on. I forget what freaking day of the week it is. It's Wednesday, right? No, it's Tuesday. Hello, Blackwater. And I've been changing jobs every year. I'm a Cancer Sun, Libra Rising. So that means that you have Virgo in the 12th. Or should. You might have intercepted houses. But that means you have Virgo in the 12th. And I forgot what we were talking about, but whatever. Yeah, I'm Scorpio, Sun, Leo, Moon, Sagittarius, Rising. I feel like I look like a Leo right now. With my facial hair and my big wide face. Well, twins. Hello, Agi. Virgo, Sun, Sag, Moon, Virgo, Rising. My mother's a Virgo with the Sag Moon. Loves to exaggerate everything. Super dramatic. Very over the top. Sag, Sun, and Rising, Taurus, Moon. That's quite a mix. We are down to earth, caring, and cute. Absolutely. Thank you for your too cute. A lot of Scorpio in the house. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast, guy. I need to start filming. So, by the way, July 17th is when witchdoctoralex.com launches. It'll be a blog, like everything that you see on my pages, Twitter, Instagram, you'll see on the blog, and plus more from that. And I'll definitely start podcasting a lot more because, it's great that I have these platforms on Instagram and Twitter, but it's like, I forget who was saying it, but, they can easily take it away. So these apps, they can either make you start paying for it, astronomical amount of money. They can take all your followers away. They can take all your content away, stuff that you think you own that you don't. And then you're left without anything. So with, this website that I'm launching on the 17th, and the reason why I'm waiting till the 17th, not just because Mercury retrograde Mercury won't be retrograde, but, I'm doing it on an election. An election in astrology, electional astrology is when you have a certain date and time scheduled for a certain event. and you use the energy, or at least the planetary positions, at their best positions for the best outcome. And you typically, or at least with an election, you're supposed to put a benefic on the ascendant, or at least one of the angular houses, but typically on the ascendant or descendant. So yeah, so that's, and it's going to be like kind of like a mix of, I want to say it's like a mix of Perez Hilton and Bossa meets my Twitter and my Instagram. So, and it's not just gonna be content about me, obviously, in my opinions. Like, I definitely want to share other great spiritual commentary people, obviously. And yeah, I won't be messy. It'll just be very much kind of like, a way to what's the word I'm looking for? Showcase other spiritualists. So yeah, let me not do that from that angle. Way to showcase other spiritualists. I really appreciate that, Fear Enter King. Something going on today in the stars, man, because I've had a crazy day. Drag Self, Libra. Yeah, it's Instagram. I mean, no, it's Mercury retrograde. It's Mars in Aries. Saturn is going to Cancer, making a square. Making a square to Mars. And what else? The moon's going into Sagittarius soon. Next couple days. What else? Some other stuff. Anyway. Aries, Pisces rising. Sounds like a fun mix. Lots of laughs. Very funny. Scorpio, Sun, Virgo, Moon, Gemini rising. You know, I'm starting to dig like Gemini Scorpio combination. I know what's her name? Regina George, the actress that plays her, she's Scorpio Sun, Gemini, Moon, and what's the guy that I forget, but he was a wrestler. He's a Scorpio with Gemini Moon, but I can't think of his name. How come I relate to my moon more than my sun? Good question. I doubt that, that's something that you attribute to a night chart. And, I'm still wrapping my head around all that. But, I don't know, it depends on where your moon is. And if your sun is, debilitated or something. Kanye, Kendrick, Georgia. Sun in Leo, moon in Pisces, rising Libra. It's a nice little mix. I like moon in Pisces. Even though when the moon is actually transiting Pisces, I notice I always cry about something. And I'm a moon in Leo. But I notice like every time the moon is in my 4th house, I cry. And I first noticed that when I moved to Sacramento. Thank you so much, Where Art Thou, Shar? I appreciate that. Why am I so transparent? Depends on your chart. Oh, what's a good book to decode birth natal charts? Sun in Sag, Cap, Moon, Scorpio rising. If you look in the Astro store, there's some, but here, let me show you. There's a good book that I've been meaning to, Planets in Transit by forgot the guy's name, but hold on. Book is somewhere around here. It's not there. Oh yeah. I got shit everywhere. Oh yeah, shout out to the Conjure Cleaner, July 17th. It's when I get to light this, when I get to set some more intentions, all that stuff. But yeah, so Planets in Transit by Robert Hand. This is a really good book about learning astrology and transits, and it tells you how I do this. Oh yeah, so it tells you like Saturn trine midheaven. It tells you about, obviously transits, but then it goes by each planet. So it's like Mercury, then the next chapter is Venus. It's like Venus trine Pluto, Venus sextile Pluto. I should be reading more of this book. before I get on here and tell you all this stuff. But yeah, it breaks down everything: Venus opposition, Venus sextile ascendant. So anything you really want to know about the transits, this is a really good book, Planets in Transit by Robert Hand. But you can find it at amazon.com/shop/Witchdoctor Alex. Here, I'll put it in the bar. Hold on.
The dirty flint water tastes bad, but put me on the right track. So 4 sweat box sessions, 2 Pilates, and 1 heavy metal detox later, I knew I was that much closer to curing my diabetes.
These are the only thing I got from my grandpa's will. My cousins, they got no business.
But anyway, so yeah, check out that link. Taking the time to explain my pleasure. My grandmother's a triple Scorpio. Aye. She's probably very intuitive, but also a little on the paranoid side. So, and it's so funny because when Saturn was in Capricorn earlier this year, I kept getting like these ear infections where I would like be in the shower and I get so much water in my ear. I'm starting to get that again. Like, because I have all this water in my ear and it itches and hurts and gives me a headache during the day. Cancer sun and the Leo moon. I'd say very much kind of, well, obviously highly sensitive, but tends to make kind of their not their traumas, more so kind of obviously making everything about them, but since, their sun's ruler is ruled by the sun, it's like they make their crying fits the center of attention. But they can be definitely a whole lot of fun. They can definitely be a great friend, definitely, very super supportive, the mom friend, but also kind of very warm, loving and helpful, etc. Thinking Leo, Cancer, Aquarius moon. So I like Aquarius moon. I think of Princess Diana. I always bring her up every time I talk about, like, she's the only Aquarius moon, but she's very much a good example of an Aquarius moon because, people know her as the people's princess, very much for the people. However, people probably who were closest to her felt very much disconnected. I was just reading about her the other day in that book over there. I'll get in a minute, but it was talking about how, once Princess Diana's mother left, she used to wait on the porch, waiting for her to come home when her mother left her father. And Princess Diana, she's a Cancer, but Cancer the moon rules over Cancer, and Princess Diana's moon is in Aquarius. Yeah. So anyways, so it's like your personal relationship with your mother may be strained because they say that your moon sign is kind of, that's what I'm looking for, kind of indicative of your relationship with your mother. Definitely explains hers. It definitely explains my relationship with my mother. But anyway, I'm an Aquarius moon. But yeah, so like I was saying, it can make you very much for the people, super humanitarian, definitely kind of like, Mother Teresa to everybody, but the people in your personal life may have a difficult time feeling connected to you. Obviously she and her sons were obviously close, but other than that, your mother was born the same day as Princess Diana. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's why, the housing system is super important to know your birth time, because it's like it could definitely help you identify the differences between you and other people born on your birthday. Britney Spears is an Aquarius moon. Yeah, so that, that can kind of attribute to, since Saturn rules Aquarius, and kind of, the modern ruler is Uranus, it can kind of lead to disruptive mental state, so to speak, or emotional state, rather. Having Aquarius moon, and, even though Princess Diana was this wealthy woman and she had two good-looking young sons, like she, would always admit to trying to commit suicide and all that stuff. And at least when she did her TV interviews and her biographies, and with Britney Spears, not that she committed suicide, obviously, but she's had her moment with mental health. But just because you have Aquarius moon doesn't mean you have mental health issues, but it can indicate a tumultuous emotional state, an unexpected emotional state at times. No, you shouldn't be worried with sun with moon in Virgo and daughter with moon in Capricorn, because it means that they'll definitely have a close relationship, slightly intuitive with each other, and definitely a different style. Alex, I left an offering at a gas station, walked inside, and the clerk gave me $50. Alex, thank you. My pleasure. Yeah, definitely, going to gas stations, I feel like gas station soil, to putting it on your altar it's slightly a bit more powerful than bank dirt or soil that you get from a bank, because you can still take money out of a bank, but nobody takes money from a gas station. Nobody, oil is oil, and there's wars that are started over oil. So, the best soil you can get is from oil. But yeah, definitely. Are you going to a doctor? It comes in waves. I'm going to the doctor next month, so I probably more than likely what will happen is when I go to the doctor next month, I won't have the ear issue, because that's just how it happens. This ear situation started once Saturn went back into Capricorn, or was at those degrees, and when I was at the worst of my ear situation was earlier this year, back in March, when we were going through that, leaving offerings. So yeah, it's like when you take from the earth, when you take from spirit, you must, and I was talking about this earlier in regards to sacrifice and commitment, when you take from soil, when you take from spirit, you should also always leave an offering, because it's kind of like, it's just bad manners to just kind of constantly want and expect something as a result of what you take from the earth. So when you leave an offering at the bank of tobacco or flowers or rum or whatever it is, beer, whatever it is, that is your way of showing, I wouldn't say solidarity, more so gratitude and giving thanks for what it is that you're taking. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Just because Saturn went into Capricorn doesn't mean that you should have an ear problem. But since the ruler of my 6th house is Venus, and Saturn is squaring my Venus in 11th house, but my ruler of my 6th house, the house of health, is Venus, that's why I'm having some health issues. Anacia and golden seal dripped into your ear and olive oil. Or I'm scared to put oil in my ear, because one time I had oil in my ear, and that was the worst time of my life. Like, I thought I was really going to go deaf. So I'm scared to put oil in my ear again. Thank you so much, Zabby Lioness. Clinical diagnosed with bipolar. So yeah, it's funny because astrologers, especially on Twitter, they don't do that. Like, just because you have certain placements means you have mental illness, and they for damn sure say that just because you have certain placements doesn't mean that you are bi or gay or transgender. There's very much very strict rules and protocol when it comes to that. But, there are some ways to do the calculations, I'll say, that would attribute to why certain things happen in our mental health, so to speak, our emotional health, rather. garlic and olive oil and a cotton swab. Much love to you, Alex. Appreciate all the info you share. My pleasure, Christ the Creator, or Chris the Creator. Yes, I love that, Michelle Borja. I heard turmeric is also helpful to fight infection. Yeah, I drink so much turmeric a day. Like, I start every morning with green tea and turmeric. Oh, Rick Fox was on this show? So yeah, let me show you my favorite piece, Trayvon. He's doing well. He says hello. Then George, R.I.P. George Floyd. And then here's Rick Ross, Rose, Pyrite, because you know he tracks money. They just wanted to say hello. What else are we talking about tonight? You see my money plant, my Bashira in the back. Me and my great grandma up there. My great grandma and great grandpa by the feeling lots of intense emotions regarding love, lust, and sex. Very overwhelming things. I'm a little confused. Leo, which? Probably because Mars is in Aries. It's in its ruler. Yeah, I just talked about the eclipse. Yeah, so the eclipse is all about kind of new rules seeping up from beneath the surface to overtake or overthrow the rules that we've had in place. And since it's at its last hurrah for 18 years, it's more so kind of over the next year, it's going to be tying up the last bit of its loose ends, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. So yeah, speaking on the uses of Hydron the Conqueror, I gave my mom one the other day. She was supposed to be driving to Colorado, but here's all they don't look sexy, obviously. They look like number 2. But yeah, here are some of my Hydron the Conquerors that I have. I haven't been feeding them this week. I'll probably do it in the morning. Some of my Malachite right there. I know this isn't my altar. This is just kind of like what I have at my mom's for the day. And I speak eternal. But anyway, yeah. So your uses. So you wear it on your left side because your left side is your receptive side. Well, at least I do, and that's what I was told to do. But anyway, your left side is your receptive side. You put it in green flannel for money or red flannel. I'm gonna call it a satchel. We'll just call it a little bag. Red flannel bag for love, and you put it with other herbs and stones or curios, whether it's rabbit's foot or alligator paw or whatever you decide to put in your mojo bag. But even if you don't put it in a mojo bag, like I took that Hydron to court with me and I had it in nothing. I just had it in my pocket and I still won the case. But it's like you can take Low John root or Little John root, which is specifically for court cases, and that helps you win in court, among other things that you can do for court cases. Ancestral lineage reading to know your spiritual path. Thank you so much, Lady Opulent. That's the chips, right? I don't know what that means. Not sure what you're referring to, Melanin Junkie, but it's always advised to get an ancestral lineage reading, no matter what. And I don't feel like that's necessary to know your spiritual path. I mean, honestly, it can be helpful, but I don't feel like that's the only way. Yeah, Low John root, that's what I mean. What about a North Little John? Low John root. What about North Node and Sag? So yeah, I say, it's so funny. Now, I'm not mad at you. I'm just like, I talk about North Node and Sag every time I come on here. So yeah, North Node and Sag, I always attribute to Anthony Bourdain, like I say every single night. But yeah, it's, a big part of your mission, so to speak, and your journey is, traveling, learning, experiencing, teaching, and more so finding ways to connect the collective do something very similar, and definitely identifying others and people, we'll say from other seas or from different backgrounds, to one another. My pleasure, Derek Shind. Against COVID-19, if I'm in the cosmetology field, and I just gave my mom some black tourmaline, but there's so many. I think me and if you listen to the podcast, me and Tiffany, Doers Be Thinkers, if you listen to my podcast, you'll hear about all those crystals that are necessary for right now. Mercury retrograde, protesting, all that. But I'm sure, appreciate you, always praying for you. You have been a great teacher and blessing to me. Thank you so much, Akastra, or no, aka Star Girl. Thank you, I appreciate that. But no, so yeah, I'd say black tourmaline or obsidian, or how do you? I forget how to pronounce it. It's not sugarite, something like that. But it's kind of like that dull, shiny stone. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, yeah, I'd say those are the main ones you can kind of take with you. I don't know about the end of July for a vaccine, but I definitely feel once, Saturn, Shungite. I kept thinking Suge Knight. I was like, no, not no Suge Knight. But yeah, I don't know about July, but definitely probably more than likely a vaccine by December. But if you watch that boy from India, he says like there's a major catastrophe coming in December, world catastrophe coming. So I don't know, but more than likely we'll have a vaccine by then. I don't know about in July. Yeah, Shungite, not Suge Knight. Should we do any magic during this full moon? Lunar eclipse, I'd say, wait until mid-July. I'm launching my website on the 17th. We'll be out on Mercury retrograde. It'll still be, slightly eclipse season, but not as much. And it'll definitely be waning. And, Venus will be direct. What else? We'll have a good mix. Some planets will still be retrograde, but that's not that big of a deal. But you will definitely be a lot more in the clear if you just wait 2 more weeks before you do any conjuring. If you're using planetary or solar or whatever kind of astrological magic that you're using. But if you practice any of the religions, then do as you may and do as you are advised. But it's there's a protocol that comes with if you say, I follow the moon, or if I follow, and it's some people will tell you, you can manifest on an eclipse because of chaos magic. You're using the energy of chaos. But it's okay, so then if that's the case, then if there's just no protocol to whatever we do in regards to astrological or planetary magic, you can just do what you want. Then, that's like saying when it comes to hoodoo, or all people that beef with Hoodoo Delish, then she can argue, chaos magic. I can be whatever race I am, and I can put butter on a candle because of chaos magic. No, there's a protocol to these things. Tax day forward. Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I still have to file my taxes and I owe money. That's the funny thing when you first get your LLC, when you become a tarot reader and you have paranoid relatives that tell you to get your LLC to avoid having to pay crazy taxes. And it's good advice, but if you also work a job on top of being a tarot reader, then you end up owing at the end of the year. I don't owe a whole lot of money, but I definitely owe some money, and I'm not in the happiest to pay. But thank God, knock on wood, I have the money to pay it. But this is the first year that I'm having to pay the government instead of getting a tax return. I'm only getting like a couple $100 from the state of California, but the rest, federal, I gotta pay because I have this LLC from Louisiana. The Secretary of State Kyle Ardon. But yeah, this is my first year having to pay the government. But better safe than sorry, especially when you get readings or when you do readings and you are getting paid through PayPal and Cash App, because those people can turn you in and will turn you in whenever they want to, especially if you really, really got money coming in. It's best to get your LLC to really protect yourself, to keep you out of drama and having to pay. I mean, I doubt 80 tarot readers are making so much money that the IRS will throw them in jail, but you never know. House of Hoodoo probably is making that much money in regards to how much her tarot readings are, but I'm not. My readings are only $44. There's a lot of people, that charge way more than that, more than attorneys for readings. Yeah, it's my pleasure. No, I've learned a lot. I've been Witchdoctor Alex since 2017, online since 2017. And, I've definitely seen a lot of, big accounts go down, not just because of being canceled and saying something crazy. It's because of, doing bad business and having to having to owe the IRS, or, having Big Brother looking after them in regard to how it will look with my donations. Yeah, I know. And it's so funny because, I've been trying not to accept so much money. I think that's part of the reason why I keep my reading so low, is because in the event that when PayPal decides to turn me in, or Cash App decides to turn me in, that it's like, okay, I wasn't collecting that much money. I wasn't doing all that crazy numbers like some of the other people. My next available date's in October. Yeah, I'm super blessed. And I do 3 readings a day, except on Sundays. Sundays are my off day, or days when I make up readings. And even then, when I have to make up readings, I'm like, damn. Because I like my day off. I like my free time. I like the day to kind of clear my head. But anyway, I do minimum 3 readings a day, every single day. So I'm very blessed that, I have to whisper, because you never know. Especially the way that they got everything mic'd all the time. But yeah, you never know who's listening or who's watching. But yeah, it's super important. Now I have my LLC. I'm having to pay the government at the end of the year, which I've never had to do, but better safe than sorry. And I'm blessed enough to be able to pay it. Can you do North Node post 1 on each sign in the houses? I think I've done that, but I'll figure out a way to do that. Or we'll see if Shivam does that. Is that what this is? Is this a question box? This thing okay, I heard someone got my wallet stolen. Any cleansing tips? I'll never use this question box. Got my wallet stolen. Any cleansing tips? Do you want the wallet back? A great way, it's so interesting. A great way to find out if you'll get your wallet back is you talk to a what's the name of that? What's that astrology? Orrery? Is that how you pronounce it? Orrery or Hourly astrologer? And what they do is they take the time that you ask the question, and so they'll look at the chart of when you ask the question, and it'll tell the story if you'll get it back or where it is or whatever. So I think last time someone did something on a missing wallet, they looked at the second house because that's your wallet, and long story short, after they looked at the Ori, they saw that the money would get returned, and come to find out and I posted this on my story, come to find out the person ended up getting the money with an extra $500 that they didn't have in the wallet back. And it was super cool, because I guess Jupiter was super influenced in the wallet, or wallet being missing or something. But 2021 is projected to be a lot more chill compared to 2020. Yeah, Mars is in Aries. But anyway, so cleansing to do, I guess, after your wallet is gone, whether you want it back or not, I'd say, do a spiritual bath like you would any other Sunday, or like I always tell you guys to do, whether it's with hyssop or cascarilla and rosemary, or if it's the 7 magic plants, which is peppermint, rosemary, sage, basil, bay leaf, hyssop, and I always forget one of them. Yerba Santa or basil. I think I said basil. But anyway, 7 magic plants, or even 3 of those, whether it's rosemary, sage, and basil, or like a Ehimoera, or however you pronounce her name. Just watch my story. She talks about a spiritual bath you can take. Just do that. Never heard you talk. Thank you so much, Tashiro Rules. I can pronounce none of y'all names, but thank you so much. But anyways, yeah, like if you watch my story, it talks about Ehimoera, talks about a spiritual bath you can do. So if you lose your wallet, you're definitely gonna cleanse yourself, because it's like, do divination as to why you might be losing things, whether it's your fault or not. Definitely do cleansing baths, obviously, sound baths also, if you can. And definitely cleanse your space, and definitely start carrying certain curios and roots and stones. I'd say, star anise and some basil when you get a new wallet. A mercury dime to put in there to make sure it stays on you, and some other stuff, some stuff I can't think of off the top of my head. Do you think anything bad is going to happen in California? I hope not. It's my home state, but I have a lot of friends still there. Tashaya, okay, yeah, Tashaya Rules. Okay, gotcha. Now I know how to pronounce it. I'm learning more about hoodoo, but I've never been close to my family. I didn't grow up in the church. Any tips, books to get connected? Well, first, start learning the Bible, which is super important, best that you can. Honestly, I feel like there's so much information on YouTube from people who practice hoodoo. You're not always going to find relevant, but the darker the berry, the more information. So it's like if you find people of color that practice hoodoo on YouTube, definitely start learning from them. Books, I'd say, Root Work by Tiana Lee McQuiller is good. I always recommend that. Even Azalea Banks, she reads that, and we won't talk about that, but she's cool though. She's nice. But anyway, yeah, she has a book also. I'll have less than 2 minutes remaining. But yeah, start there. And, the best thing you can do to learn that is just find community, find fellowship with people who also practice, find a mentor or an elder, best you can, and then work your way up from there. But yeah, they're kicking me off. So thank you guys for watching. We'll do this again soon. Love you.